Okay, enough of good news and enough of arguing on whether property prices will drop or not. I think what is happening is there's always two sides of the story, and one side is giving facts on why it doesn't drop, and another fact is just waiting for it to drop just to maybe dig good deals or whatsoever. Okay, but the thing that will really happen is nothing got to do with new launches. It really happen is something got to do with rental. Okay, I don't know if any of you have seen any article on this yet, but this is something that I feel and I think that it will happen soon, and you will see a quite long-term effect to it, at least for the next 1 year to come. The thing about rental is this virus and this pandemic moment is definitely going to push rental price down, and it's definitely going to affect rental demands. Okay, because like I always tell you guys, I think there's a few things that I always repeat in some of my investment videos. It's like, firstly, Singapore doesn't depend on locals on rental, we depend on foreigners. And in this COVID-19, right, I don't really feel that there will be more and more foreigners coming to Singapore. You know, people can argue that maybe in this COVID-19, more foreigners will want to come to Singapore because it's safer, you know, because we are testing everything and we are getting everything under control. However, does our government even allow people to enter? I think that is a big question. And those people that are employing foreigners are mostly MNCs that are renting. We're talking about the private, okay, because HDB basically it won't affect much one, because HDB you are housing those maybe lower income tenants. And even if HDB today, right, you rent, to be frank, you cannot say it's a good profit lah, because if you watch my other videos, you are renting HDB today provided your HDB is not depreciating, but most HDB are depreciating through age. And also HDB rental is not fantastic because the government has already maxed 6% and also came out with the rental quota. So not every time you can rent to foreigners or PR. Sometimes you die have to rent to Malaysian PR or Singaporeans because of the quota. But the private market is going to get it. The private market is going to get it hard. The reason is very simple. You come and think about it. Do you think there will be more and more foreigners coming to Singapore, or do you think as of today more and more foreigners are leaving? And also, while people may lose their job or maybe people are being sent back, tenants will have problem paying their rent. Tenants will want to downgrade. Tenants will want to tell the landlord, say, sorry, I need to cancel the lease because they need to downgrade, or they need to leave the country, or they are being sent back by their company because the company is doing a cut cost for the manpower and all these things. So this will definitely happen, which is something that we cannot argue about. And when this happen, right, investor is going to take the hit. So actually, to me, I tell you frankly, I always, not that I don't believe in rental yield, but I will feel that rental is always a plus point. We have to take rental as something that is optional, something that is secondary. The primary thing about property investment, right, should always be the amount of capital gain we are looking at. It's always be capital gain, because in Singapore there's no capital gain tax. But for rental, you still have to pay property tax, you still have to pay income tax, all this thing for all your property income, your rental income, as well as you still have to pay your maintenance, all these things. So actually you add up, is it fantastic? That is a point that we got to think about. So today, if you are a property, right, that doesn't have capital gain, or your property is losing money, yet you are getting very good rental yield, actually if you do your calculation, you may not be earning at all because you still have interest. So for those people that don't have interest, then yes, maybe it makes sense for you because you don't have interest. So if you don't have interest, you fully paid out your property and you're renting it out, then it makes sense for you to calculate rental yield as a primary factor of investment. But in these pandemic moments, in the 1 year to come, or even 1 to 2 years, if this market and this economy doesn't recover as a whole, meaning that with the other countries being involved, it's going to be very hard for us to see rental market improving. And To be frank, our rental yield is already very low in terms of average rental yield. We are only like about a couple of 2 to 3%. So I think that if you're going to drop further, it's going to be quite bad. And this may also be a factor on how the property resale prices will drop. But the resale private, right, is something that is going to be very interesting, because that in my mind, there's always two categories to the resale private property. One category is always property for own stay. Property for own stay meaning that Singaporeans will actually buy to stay. So places like Tampines, places like Bedok, places like Punggol, all these are properties that people will buy to stay. Okay, but if you today you look at properties like maybe properties in the core central area or property in Redhill, maybe you will see more people buying to rent, than buying to stay. So there's some kind of property that you may see a lot of rental. For example, like shoebox or studio apartment. Actually, there's lesser people that will buy to stay in a shoebox apartment. Most of the people are buying to invest. So in such a market there is so much problem, right? You will see lesser investor. You see lesser investor also means that this kind of property is harder to sell. But today, if it's a 3-bedroom in Tampines or 3-bedroom in Punggol or 3-bedroom in Hougang, it's not a property for investor. It's more for own stay. You'll see that it will continue selling one, because there will still be people shifting around. There will still be people that needs to upgrade. There still be people that needs to downgrade. So eventually there will still be the buy sell momentum going on. So you have to understand what kind of property you're holding. There is some properties that some people are holding is that you get very good rental yield, but when it comes to selling, you realize that it's very hard to sell. Prices are not appreciating. To me, I don't really favor this kind of properties, because like I say, the primary factor should always be capital gain. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. I think that we have put up enough video to argue the point on whether developer will slash price or not and whatsoever, and I feel that I should be touching more on the other sectors and the other problems that will actually appear and surface in the market in the next few months to come, or even in the next few weeks to come. So thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button. We will continue to talk about more current stuff instead of the new launches and the developers anymore. We will touch on other factors and give you a bigger view on what will happen. So I see you in the next episode. Slam the like button and bye bye.